Okay, so we're on day 4 of the Journal to a General Strike, and that general strike is May Day. That is May 1st, 2028, and we're counting down the days, up the days. In the meantime, I'm sure you're expecting me to comment on Reddit licensing its content to Google to train its AI models. Or maybe you're expecting me to say that government could play a major role in fixing this social media nightmare that's happening with Reddit. Not just Reddit, but Twitter and Facebook. As you know, if you listen to anything that I've been saying, I'm quite a believer in nationalization, the democratization of these essential services, of which social media is one. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is actually I have a question that I'm going to answer today. That question is, hey, I just barely discovered your videos. I like what you're saying, but I'm not really a worker. Actually, not right now anyway. I quit my job like 4 months ago and haven't been able to find a job again. And honestly, like the last thing I want to do is join some general strike. Man, I'm trying to find work ASAP. My family and I could be really fucked in like 2 more months if I don't get money coming in. So yeah, it's like I have the opposite goal of a strike, which feels shitty. I want to change and get better, but how is a strike realistic for someone who's just trying to make ends meet, trying to trick some company to hire me and cut my checks, maybe on the way, blah, 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 sob story. First of all, I don't think that's a sob story at all. Blah, blah, blah. I get what you're saying. A lot of us are going through that. We have to make ends meet in this horrible system. At the same time, we have to improve this horrible system. First things first, a lot of people liken capitalism to addiction, and I think that's that's more than just a superficial analogy. That is exactly what is happening. It's an addiction. It's a deadly addiction that will kill us and the entire planet if we don't fix it. But like if you've ever been an addict yourself, or if you've ever treated someone who has had a deadly addiction, for example, alcoholism, when it gets so bad, you can't just stop it immediately. You can't go cold turkey. Literally, that will kill you. And to be really, really, really clear here, the ones who are the most addicted are the ones in power. Those are the ones who think that they cannot live without another $1 billion. They're going to be the ones that have to live with the withdrawal symptoms. Our job as the working class is to enforce those withdrawal symptoms. And what I'm talking about, of course, are consequences for the ruling class for their complete mismanagement of our entire society. Reddit's a perfect example. This clown that is running Reddit and is selling out everyone's content is going to create an IPO that leads to him making a bunch more money at the cost of literally everyone else. Literally the entire platform on Reddit is going to become worse because he's going to take that power and put it in the hands of someone who's motivated to make profit, even more so than he is. So he's going to sell it to someone worse in the same way that the CEO of Twitter sold it to Elon Musk, who's a complete clown and is running it into the ground. Reddit will be run into the ground, as soon as that IPO comes in. Same thing happened with Facebook. We've been over this. So the people that really need to suffer the withdrawal symptoms are the ruling class. The question is, how are we as the working class going to enforce those consequences? How are we going to take our society, which is addicted to capital, specifically these capitalists that are completely addicted, and turn it into something that doesn't kill us so that we survive, and at the same time we actually make progress? Reform. The word is reform. There are so many leftists that will say that reform does not change anything. They'll say that you're just gilding the handcuffs. You're putting softeners around the handcuffs, but the working class is still chained up. Listen, softer handcuffs are better. A working class that can survive is better than some perfect revolution that these people have in their minds. I'm in my late 30s now. I've been a communist, anarchist, leftist for my entire adult life. I was an adolescent when I very first read Marx. And I'll tell you something, I am so tired of the revolutionaries who they won't vote. They won't do anything unless it is pursuing their revolution, which is conveniently doing nothing. The people mostly that are talking about revolution, at least the Marxist-Leninists that are talking about revolution on the left, they're just lazy, or they're just straight up hostile actors. A lot of them are Russian. And that's not just me being a paranoid American, that's a fact. They don't want us to reform our system because our system, let's say 70 years ago, was much more effective at putting them in check. They don't want to be put in check. There are forces in geopolitics outside of the United States that are at play, and they do not want the United States to be strong or be able to exercise its power in the way that the people see fit. They want to be able to install oligarchs in the same way that they have done in their system. China's a perfect example. Russia's a perfect example. There's no shortage of examples of these totalitarian states that just install dictators. So the question is, how do we reform actually? And how does a revolution, the meaning of the word revolution is an entire video unto itself, but what do we need to do to make these reforms meaningful? FDR was far and away the most effective president, unless you don't count, Abraham Lincoln, far and away the most effective president at bringing real reforms to the United States. At least there's still some people alive who remember those reforms. There won't be many very shortly in 2024. They're dying out pretty quickly, but they remember those reforms. Those reforms were real, very real. What we need to do is to keep people alive. We have got to pursue a course of radical reform in the same way that FDR pursued radical reform. What does that mean? Paradoxically, it means pursuing revolution. The United States was able to radically reform its system because there was a strong push for a workers' revolution from communists, from anarchists, from socialists, leftists, let's just use that big umbrella term, leftists who demanded reform. I want to bring this all back to your question of what you can do actively is further the goals of would-be revolutionaries and would-be radical reformists. I don't care about these terms. I really don't care. You're either on the side of workers or you're not. You either believe in an egalitarian, equal society or you don't. You either think that hierarchy is justified and that people with money are justified in having all that money, or you don't. You're either a bootlicker or you're not. It's really not that complicated. You're either willing to sell out your community so that you can have a better standing and you can take care of yourself, or you're not. Ideologically, it's really simple, guys. And once you realize that you're a normal person, which I really hope that you do, if you're a Christian, if you're a Buddhist, there's so many ways to coming to this realization that we're all in this together as human beings. Not even just as human beings, as earthlings, as living beings on this earth. There's so many ways to come to the same conclusion and realizing that we are better off working together. That's why human beings are where we are. It's why we've gotten so far as a species. It's why we've conquered this entire planet. It's not because of rugged individualism. It's because we work well together. That's what you need to figure out. And I can't tell you how to do that. What you need to do is agitate, educate, organize. And I'm going to break down what all of these mean really quickly. I love the symbol of the fist, and I'm going to use this. The fist is the organization. That's what we want. Solidarity. Us working together. A fist. 5 fingers, 1 fist. That's solidarity. And it's a symbol of the working class for a lot of reasons. That's organization, becoming the fist. Education is saying to the other fingers, hey, I think we could form a fist. Letting the other fingers know, like, hey, I think that I can go here. Hey, Pinky, you go here. We're going to form a fist together. Education. Agitation is the lowest. It's when things are the worst. If this is all you can do, if all you can do is agitate, then you can agitate. And that's just trying to get the fingers to wiggle. Someone in a working environment, working a job where they have no power, they have no union, they have no solidarity among their fellow workers at all, what you need to do is agitate. Get those fingers to wiggle. Try to get people upset and aware of the current situation so that they start to kind of feel around. Agitation, education, organization. Agitate, educate, organize. I can't give you specific instructions about how you can do that because I don't know where you are. I don't know the current state of affairs. You very may well be watching this far in the future. Hopefully not. That's not necessary. But if that's the case, I can't tell you exactly. But if you follow these rules of thumb, you need to agitate, educate, organize. That is the ultimate goal, is to organize. That's the ultimate goal that we're all reaching towards, is becoming organized in our solidarity. That's how you should proceed, and let that inform your actions. Let that inform your words. Let that inform how you interact with people. And of course, you need to survive. I was just reading the story. This is a little off topic, but I'm going to bring it back here. I was just reading the story of the guy who's just self-immolated in his protest of Palestine. This guy was a living young man who could have given his energy. Do not light yourself on fire. First of all, that's a really bad way to go. Second of all, you have a future. You have much more to lend than destruction. We as human beings, fire is just kind of our go-to. Like, set it on fire. We use that to cook our food. It's why we have big brains. It's because we unlock all the calories from food. Fire is just our tool that we use to get so much done. Hell, we use fire to move around now. If you want to get to point A to point B, you light this oil on fire and we can get you there really fast. Fire is something that we as human beings recognize as a really quick and effective tool, but it's limited. And fire has its limitations. Okay? Lighting yourself on fire, blowing things up, literally is not a solution. What we need to do is come together and form fists. That is solidarity, that is organization, and that is my advice to you, is to look in your life and, if you can, organize with people, with other people who are class conscious. Organize with them. Say, this isn't right. We're not being paid the wages we deserve. We should ask for more. If you see protests happening outside your door, get outside there and join them. If they're for a worthy cause, most of them are. And if you can't do any of that, start wiggling those fingers. Start saying to people around you, is this right? CEO has earned $10 million and we earn $10 an hour? What is this? Start fostering the sense of uneasiness and a sense of, we are owed more than this. You absolutely are. You're a human being. You're a living thing on this planet Earth. You deserve more. I hope that answers your question. Do right by your families, yes, but more than that, do right by the family of human beings, because we're in this together. Just like you're trying to help your family, it's a microcosm for what we're all trying to do, all of us as the working class, together, and we've got to work together. What that's going to take is you asking these questions out loud. I'm so glad that you did. It's also going to take talking to your neighbors, talking to your family members, having difficult, uncomfortable conversations and saying, listen, something must be done. Because the truth is that we're just simply out of time. Humanity is out of time. And that's not some kind of an exaggeration, 2023 is the hottest year on record. We've just had January, February is about to end, hottest months on record. This is an escalator that's never going to stop going up. This place is literally getting hotter, and we've got to do something. So I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to be making these videos probably every week at least, I'm hoping. And I would love to hear more of your questions. You can comment on this video, any questions. You can also email me directly. I'll put that email right in the description. And yeah, I love answering these questions because I think about this literally every day. And I've thought about this literally every day for like 20 years. Maybe not every day, for 20 years. But these days, I'm definitely thinking about it all day, every single day. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your guys' time.